Yes. 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 And most importantly, yes. Yes. Okay. This always happens on Facebook, but nonetheless. Good morning, y'all. We're going to be live here on Facebook and YouTube here in just a second, but if you are on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit that love button. It shows that you're all about love. Okay? So if anything, we're going to try this crazy thing here with Fizz. All right, come on, Fizz. Alrighty. First of all, let us raise our hands in prayer. First, we want to thank Jah for getting us up this morning to rise to the opportunity He presents in front of us each and every day, so we can be positive in our movement. Also, to help those who cannot help themselves, and also to be better people as we progress through our lives and get older and do the right things. But most importantly, to show some sort of human compassion toward each other, enemy or foe or whatever, besides having a patara and a culo. Jesus Christ, we pray these things. Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari. Alrighty. And of course, we are live. Oh, hold up. This does not look right at all. Y'all like the wild style, or do you like the I keep it all on the wraps? Okay, here we go. There we go. Now I'm feeling good. Okay. All right, people, and welcome to. Wow, I got a loop on. I got a halo going on here. Okay. Welcome to the Ktng Morning Show. That's right. This is the Ktng Morning Show, and I'm your host, the man who roasts the most, and of course keeps it happening and slapping it every single day from Monday to Friday, or Friday, as any of us would like to say. This is the G to the R to the I to the T to the Z to the S-T, above the mountain and underneath the freeway all day. The freak on the peak, you know me from Pueblo all the way to Monument to Denver and Aurora, all the way around. People, you know where I'm traveling at. That's right, I do it, and I do it without a map. Traveling with crew to see you live and direct here on Facebook and YouTube. That's right, this is the Ktng Morning Show, so let's get this crazy world on the road. All right, it's a keeper. All right. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And of course, needless to say, I like to start the day off of like, what the heck happened to my ass? So it's not more or less like, you know, pretty much like vindication or anything like that. But I addressed that issue that I had yesterday, and come to find out, you know, I'm only going to get leeway all the way up until Friday before they simply replace me. So, all right. Anyway, out here in things have been going pretty, as they would say, so-so for the most part. I do have a physical tomorrow, so needless to say, I got to take care of that as well. You know, physical. This is a physical. But nonetheless, you know, it's kind of disturbing when I see and hear about how human beings actually treat themselves and so forth. And I guess 9 times out of 10 that, you know, overplays, you know, the cops showing up around here looking for somebody living in an apartment illegally. But what I find out here now is that when you are working in an office that is, you know, inherently gay, okay? You know, love is love, okay? Don't get me wrong. But when you use your minority status as an equal or as an equalizer to your entitlement or whatever, you know, racist entitlement you do have, it makes you lower, okay, than the racist that's sitting in, say, like, you know, the White House right about now. So, needless to say, a new hire got booted out of the van, and basically, I don't think it's just like, just tossed old girl out in the open to do canvassing and everything, and she was from Kenya. Now, the person responsible for this and so forth is a gay person named Tonya, and she basically just booted her out and told her that they would come back, later. But she needed her back. She didn't have all of her things. So within an hour, she quit. And that is like, wow. That's how you treat people? Is that how you treat people? You mean to tell me you fight for your same-sex equivalency, you fight for your rights and so forth, and then you still treat like people like crap? Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's the reason why that's the reason why like a lot of people basically just either fall or fall into different graces in that particular sense. I guess that's because, needless to say, it is a push business, but yet still, it's more or less so secular when it comes to who likes who and who doesn't like who. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So I'm not, for the LGBT community, there are certain examples of bad behavior that really define, how far are you willing to take your privilege or your hard-worn entitlement, and so far as you have not yet mastered in this world. I mean, don't ask, don't tell, pretty much let it all out and so forth, and therefore the military has never been since then, right? For real. Secular people do with secular things, and they make a huddle out of it. Okay, they do. They make a straight tribe out of it, and that tribe is very vicious if you're not careful, especially out here in Colorado Springs. So I've seen it, I've heard it, and not only that, I report it. It'll be in my journal. Anyway, let's move on with the show, people. Okay, let's move on with the show, because human decency seems to be lacking in a lot of these stories I'm about to lay on you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and another thing, first and foremost, before we even get into the stories, everybody needs to send prayers. I'm doing this for Rebecca Armendariz. Basically, she had, she's been hospital. Her baby was born not breathing, hypoglycemic and enlarged heart, and she was asking everybody to send positive prayers and thoughts so that the baby will live and everything, because losing a baby at this particular junction is not a very good thing. So if anything, people, send some prayers to her. She's on Facebook, Rebecca Armendariz. Give her lots of love and very positive thoughts for the baby's recuperation and so forth. So please do that. All right, so God bless, Jah Rastafari. Let's get into these stories, people. Oh, let's see. Today in history, and there's not much on for today because, Hitler gets the Third Reich and all that crap. 69, the Fab Four performed publicly together for the last time atop Apple Studios headquarters in London. It was the group's last public performance. So after that, everybody went their separate ways. John Lennon got shot. Ringo Starr is still alive. George Harrison died. And everybody else is just still, wondering if they're going to produce another album with Paul McCartney. Let's see, 1972, Bloody Sunday, 13 Roman Catholic civil rights marchers were shot to death by British soldiers in Northern Ireland on what was known and became U2's theme song, Bloody Sunday. Okay, and in 1989, the American embassy in Kabul is closed during the Russian invasion of the country. It was reopened in 2001. Skysky Rio, good morning. Bring them on, 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 bring it on. There you go, Skysky Rio, what's happening, babies? So also, I think those are pretty much the marks of history. But then again, you have to understand, when Russia invaded Kabul in Afghanistan, the Afghan rebels who were supplied by the United States with arms, already, and money from the NRA, finally repelled the Russian because they were using sticks and stones. There's still plenty of landmines out there, that sort of thing. That's not the most coolest thing to do, but yet still we got the nerve to sit up and say, okay, well, we need to start a war with these cats, so let's generate something called 9/11. Bam! There you go. Okay. So if anything, what's up, Skysky? I see you this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show, brethren. Welcome to the show. So let's move around and so forth and see what we can do here. What's this? We got J. Rue in the background. Blasting. I tell you, we straight blasting. Oh my God. Come on here, baby. Don't give me this drama this morning. Okay. So as usual, crazy things start happening and whatnot when I start getting off on these things. So I'm looking at some real stories here, okay? And from the Los Angeles Times about 4 hours ago, and this involves kids. And something everybody should have a place. Blessed vibrate from the Virgin Islands, coming into you, okay? Immigrant children aren't entitled to government-paid lawyers in deportation hearings, courts rule. Why? That's what I want to know. Why? If that's the case and so forth, we need to investigate this and make sure that, we have an understanding. So a federal appeals court decided unanimously Monday that minors immigrants who are in the country without legal authorization are not entitled to government-paid lawyers in hearings that could lead to their deportation. Why are we, subjugating, children in this whole thing, in this whole abscess of justice? So a 3-judge panel of the United States Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld an immigration judge's decision to deny asylum to a minor identified as CJLG, who left Honduras at the age of 13 after being threatened by gangs. Oh my God, my goodness. Daphne Bell from Chicago, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for coming through. I don't know why. Failing systems. Oh my God. I understand, dude. I understand. We're back. I guess we're back in the clique and so forth. Here we go. The boy didn't have a lawyer, and his mother was unable to find free legal help. The Ninth Circuit judge said that the law did not guarantee paid lawyers for children in the immigration court, and that the teenage boy failed to show that he needed a lawyer to safeguard his rights. Human rights should come before anything else. Man's law dictates human rights. Why? Okay? Why? Here's a 13-year-old boy trying to escape from gangs. He wants to live. He wants to, experience his life and so forth. And yet, here in this country, because we have the greatest cheeseburger on top, is basically blocking people from, being with their families. Growing, learning, contributing to society. And all of a sudden, it's like now we just put up all these invisible walls and expect Mexico to pay for them. I don't think so. Mandating free court-appointed counsel could further strain an already extended immigration system, wrote by George Consuelo M. Callahan, who was appointed by George W. Bush. Okay, it is very unfortunate on this particular sense, but it's a brutal decision, says Alejan, legal director of the ACLU of Southern California. It's brutal for him, and it's also brutal for thousands of other children who have fled 3 of the most violent countries on earth: Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Now, realize, people, these are cartel-laden countries. All right, and their whole expansion is the drug trade. Okay. We legalize weed up in here and so forth so we can put a dent in it. So I guess the war on drugs must have some effect. It's a stupid ass war, I must say, but more importantly, it is a war that is basically faced against minorities, no matter if you're in Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, or whatever. Good morning, Maria Sashiri. Good morning from Toronto. What's up? Okay. Walt, she says hi. And for most of the minors facing deportation proceedings without lawyers came to the U.S. to escape violence in those countries. If I am trying to escape from the United States from violence, do you think Canada is going to be so fortunate to adopt me? Or is it going to be something that, I would have to go back into the violent zone? Okay? Delphine Bell, looking good, Scott. She's talking about, oh my goodness. All right, people. All right. But Monday's ruling in the Ninth Circuit expressed sympathy for the teenager, but said the law did not support him. It is a broken and shattered system that does not support minorities, but it only supports minorities who have money. Okay? Morning, Tanner. Good morning. It is a sad state of affairs when our justice system says, justice for all. We basically you know, and treat everybody under the false notion that bring us your huddled masses, bring us your tired, your poor, your persecuted. And then we get them here, drain the life out of them, drain the resources out of them and so forth, and then kick them out of the country, right? This is how we make America great, right? Right? This is how we make America great? I call it a blasphemous fallacy of ridiculousness, okay? That's why I can't understand why we would sit there and let some people in, but we would like pretty much pull a lot of people out. Okay, so the mother's based her son's request on silence by threats from the Mara gang. The boy repeatedly spurns efforts by the gang to recruit him, despite death threats made against him and his family. The Ninth Circuit said after Mara threatened CJ at gunpoint, CJ and his mother Maria fled Honduras. Okay, the ACLU, which needless to say, that's right. It's right. Christian Khaled Lotus, good morning. Great rising, Brother King. Great risings. And of course, Sky Surreal, you were right. It is off the backs of others. Okay? Sasha Bonds, great risings. Great risings to you, my sister. Great rising. And I really feel sorry for just about anybody that's basically coming into this country by way of, say, like, through those areas, through Mexico to come here. Because of persecution, persecution of their livelihoods, persecution, essentially, of just life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we can't have that, labeled to any kind of democratic process, which is called democracy. And democracy seems to be like, a killing threat to free nations around the world. Okay? Humanity should be free to move around wherever they want to. But unless we have a law system and so forth that's in place that explains why they should not be here under cheeseburgers or dictum or orders, then we do not serve the greater community of this planet at all. We don't. We'll sit there, it's like parasitic. It's very parasitic here. Very parasitic. We have laws for this, laws for that, laws that are supposed to protect children, but we can't do that. How do you classify a teenager at 13? The guy is still a child. He's like, come on. If they're recruiting at that age, it means that the old guard in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador are dying off, and they're killing each other off very quickly. If they're killing your young, if you are busy killing your young, too busy killing your young for territory, money, and property, and money and so forth like that, that's a greater evil than anything known to mankind. Okay? There is no absolution from the Catholic Pope. Okay? Super Pope ain't coming in to swoop in and say, okay, you've all been absolved. You guys are all, free to go to heaven, despite the mass killings and the mass killings that you do to your children, the mass killings you do to families, the mass killings that you do to your own political system. That is a joke. That's a joke. If you're down for your damn people, find some way in the communities to uproot your people and put them in a safer place. Okay? Don't be voiceless. Okay? Do not be voiceless. So moving right along, it's also indicative that we still have this wall issue, okay? Regardless, if people sit up and say, okay, well, we got a lot of shithole countries here and da-da-da-da-da. You know something? If we check our own backyards and whatnot, in here in America, trust me, we have a lot of shithole places for homelessness, for poverty, for mental illness, okay? That's just to name a few. There's a whole list of crap. Okay, that for some shining example, America is this great country that basically caters to a set. Okay, it does. Guys, it does. Unity seems to elude our people. It does. It really does. And the only thing we can do about it, primarily and so forth, is to go with the flow. I can't go with that kind of flow, man. No. Our whole thing here is that the reason why we're so separated is because of consumerism, because of materialism. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And the way these guys are keeping up with the Joneses is shooting each other. That's not a society. That's not a society of prosperity. That's not a society of intellect. It's not even a society of strong-minded warriors, for that matter. We keep this up and so forth. We face our own extinction. Okay? And to make America great, why don't we do something a little bit better than just sit around and, you know, placate to the interest of others who want to just see us off ourselves any damn way. For example, Tribune News, Mexico won't pay for Trump wall, but these foreign tech workers would. Okay, so who is like, you know, trying to get some money out of Washington to build a freaking wall? Okay, so out of Washington, Mexico refuses to pay for the cheeseburgers wall, but advocates representing another group of foreign workers legally in the United States say they would eagerly raise billions for the barrier if it helped them get green cards faster. Okay, who's selling out? Who is selling out? Under the proposal, Indian and Chinese tech workers would set up and kick in $2,500 each or more in fees if it meant they could get their green cards after 5 or 6 years instead of waiting decades, as some do now. The Indian high-skilled workers will gladly, enthusiastically, and happily pay for the wall if given the opportunity to do so in order to get fair treatment on green card waiting times. Says Leon Fresco, an attorney of Immigration Voice, an advocacy group working with members of Congress on the measure. Okay, the offer comes as a bipartisan group of congressional members is pressing the White House and Congress on a new proposal that will help raise $4 billion toward payment of the $25 billion wall and security package in a deal that to protect so-called dreamers, okay, who were brought to this country illegally as children. Do you think those children had a choice? Do you honestly think those children had a choice? Okay, considering that their parents are living in battled areas. Okay, some of the worst favelas, some of the worst ghettos, some of the worst places on the planet, and so forth, don't allow their children to grow. India, for one. Okay, think about it. Okay, it's like, you know, 5% opulence, 90% poverty. Okay, and they have 1 million people there. But yet still, you have like Indian and Chinese workers who make up a large chunk of the green card applicants in the United States, far exceeding the per country annual cap on permanent residency approvals. As a result, there is a significant backlog of the much coveted residency permits. So if we're allowing more Chinese and Indian workers in, and they want to, like, you know, build this crazy wall and whatnot, there's already a wall. It's called racism. Okay, it's called fascism. And it's built, and it's mortared with fascism. And that invisible wall sits there every single day, no matter what company you go to, no matter what restaurant you go to, no matter what place you go out to. Sure, you can meet your neighbor and say, hi, bye, kiss my ass. That don't mean nothing. Okay? What happens in the workplace is the most racist thing you can possibly see. And that is basically indicative of how the government basically runs. And who's running the government? Your favorite idiot and mine. Cheeseburger, burger, 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 burger. I refuse to say the man's name because he's such a freaking idiot. Come on, the guy's got like a 2nd grade education. He's running the country. Wow. I find that almost like, you know, very hypocritical in some areas. This story goes, more than 1 million Indian and Chinese nationals will arrive on the H-1B tech work visas are awaiting green cards, according to congressional estimates. In fact, the wait to get a green card for some Indian applicants can stretch towards 70 years, according to those estimates. You ever wonder why there was like so many, you know, Pakistanis and so forth and Indians working in 7-Elevens? Yeah, nice. Okay, so if anything, in order to make America great, a great country again, and so forth, we have to have Mighty Whitey dictate what type of people can come here and what type of people cannot come here. And if this is to go through, this sends a definite slap in the face of all those who are trying to escape from persecution. Okay? They're trying to escape from murder. They're trying to escape with their lives. And it ain't easy getting across that border, because you get out there in that Arizona desert without no caches of water or food or clothing or some type of help whatsoever, you're going to die. You're going to die, and that is a long stretch. It's like almost like about 1,000 miles of just straight desert heat. And even in the winter, dehydration will kill you just as quick as hypothermia. Okay, so if anything, you have a few knuckleheads who are basically trying to, you know, do stuff against this whole thing. Right now, those Congress. The Congress, we know, everybody knows the definition of Congress, right? It's a pack of baboons, okay? So the administration, Cheeseburger's administration officials announced in September they would completely shut down the deferred action of childhood arrivals or the DACA program in March 5th. So, peace and light, Kerry Truman, peace and light. I'm at the work with no earbuds to listen. Shoot, we gotta, hey, everybody, donate some earbuds to Kerry Thurman. It would be most important to do so. I mean, we got to do this. We got to raise money to get Kerry Thurman some earbuds. Okay, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about brethren and sisters. We don't see our advantages as people of color. We don't see our advantages. Our advantages are that we are far more intelligent, we are far more athletic, and we are more spiritually connected in so many ways. That we have been divided by the absence of organized religion as well as organized politics. So here it is, they're trying to knock the DACA program out by the 5th. What does that mean to all of these children? That type of diaspora has already happened to Africans. That type of diaspora has already happened to Haitians. That type of diaspora has happened to every person of color who's ever came into this country. Even the Chinese know that. Who built the freaking railroad, for crying out loud? And you mean to tell me they keep sending more of you in there to die to do it? Since the 1800s all the way up to what? Okay. Was there no tofu at the end of the day for that? Okay. I'm just asking. So if people of color spent more time building this country than anything else, and for the most part, people were either murdered off or they still didn't get no reparations for it and everything. What does that tell you? Here we are. Let's fast forward this all the way to 2019. Okay, beyond this, because at the 31st of this month, celestial change is coming. People are not aware of this. But in 2019, there is going to be a population upheaval. Okay? Public Enemy said this first. Fear of a black planet. And it's coming. In 2019, I guarantee you, there's going to be less and less births of the Anglo-Saxon in this country altogether. So which means everybody, make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you're doing the right thing to educate your children on who the enemy is. Learn the enemy, fear, and never hold fear in front of them. Okay, we are near the, as they would say, the, oh my goodness. Oh, hell yeah, here we go. There we go. We're near the halfway mark here. This is Ktng 860 AM. We are broadcasting and so forth live on, say, YouTube and on Facebook. Hit like and subscribe. Do what you can and so forth. Smash those buttons. DJ Sucker Punch is in the house and he tells everybody, save your nuts. All right? That could be anything. But most importantly, it's a Kung Fu Saturdays from 8 to 12. And also, most importantly, we also have soul music, gospel music. We have the best spitters in the neighborhood around the world from Zulu Nation on the show day in and day out. So we make it a point and so forth to do what is prevalent in this country and so forth to make sure that you get an eclectic sense of your competition here in the United States. I mean, I've heard spitters from Peru. I've heard spitters from Cuba. I heard spitters, from Barbados. I've heard spitters from China, Mongolia, Japan, all the way around the world. Hip hop is dominating. The reason why people write the way they write. They tell their stories. We are infusing the rest of this world to listen to us. And you know something? All it boils down to from that point on is that people are willing to listen. What you write on your music and so forth influences the youth. And if you're listening to gutter mouth garbage, trust me, you will act like gutter mouth garbage because now you're accepting the brainwashing. See what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, back to our story here in clandestine here, Colorado Springs. Good morning, Paul Martin, my super brother. What's happening? Okay. So here we are. We got DACA is about to end in March, which is less than about a month and a couple of days away. That happens. What does that say? to you, my Mexican brothers and sisters? What does that say to you? It says as a starting point. That's the starting point of a fuse that's going to detonate, that's going to stop anybody from coming to this country altogether. Who is of what? Like that. Okay? Why? Because there's a decreasing population. There's a decreasing population of births for white people in this country. Of course there is. It's been going on for like the last 10 years. And every 10 years they have a poll about it. Every year they have a poll about, you know, the less births that are here in the country. And they're not focusing on, say, the resiliency of, you know, they're not focusing on the resiliency of the human body, okay? In which a lot of us who are, you know, a little bit dark-skinned and so forth, I hate to say it, we have melanin. Our melanin protects us from a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. You need to say, man, come on. If you're still drinking that cow pus and whatnot, I suggest you start eating collard greens, because collard greens have twice as much vitamin D than an average glass of milk. Me, I drink tea, and I do my almond milk, that sort of thing. Okay, moving right along, people, because we only got but so much here. As we find that our brothers and sisters in Venezuela are in an economic tailspin. Why? They have a third of the world's oil, okay? They have more gold than they need. They have an economy that should be bustling, that should be really, you know, blowing up, and people should be living in, you know, at an era of prosperity. Unfortunately, because the governments of this world allow for such, like, you know, upheaval. You have children, women and children, basically fighting to survive, okay? Venezuelans loot to eat amid economic tailspin. This is from AP Press. This is about 6 hours ago. So at Puerto Cabello, Venezuela, the cab of Carlos del Pinos, Big Rig gave him a nerve-rattling front row seat to the surge of mob attacks in Venezuela's neighborhood markets, cattle ranches, and food delivery trucks like his. Shortly after pulling away from the docks of Puerto Cabello, the country's biggest port, he witnessed 20 people swarm a truck ahead of him and in a frenzy fill up their sacks with corn it was carrying to a food processing plant. The driver was held at gunpoint. It's to fill you with terror. He has hauled cargo for 14 years, and on a good month earns the equivalent of about $100. $100 a month. Wow. There's no food stamps. There's no GR. There's no welfare. There's no structure or anything like that, and that's enough to support his wife and 2 daughters. Yet, despite his fears, he sympathizes with the impoverished countrymen who are becoming desperate amid Venezuela's widespread food shortage and high inflation. The whole thing at this particular point, I looked at, you know, I think in 9 times 10 they're going to wind up doing Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has taken a severe beating, okay? They've taken a severe beating, okay? They really have. And I can't understand why the governments of the world, of our planet, do not sympathize with the people who voted them in. I mean, do rich people basically sit up and write the laws that govern the lives of poor people? I'm trying to figure this out. Who in the hell is responsible for all of this? We are. The whole of humanity. We can't sit up and point individually that this person does this and this person does this. No. If all of us are on one planet and we got no other place or other planet to go to, despite astrology, despite NASA and everything else, we have no place to go to. Us poor people are going to be stuck here, okay? All right? All of us working class people are going to be stuck here, okay? We're going to die here. Well, all the other people who have the education, who have the intelligence, who have been trained, okay, who have, like, you know, college degrees are going to wind up leaving this planet and so forth and become what? Us. Scavengers, okay? Roaches of the galaxy. I think there was a movie. Stormtroopers or something like that? Star Troopers, Stormtroopers, I don't know. Anyway, the opinion says he has hauled cargo for 14 years, okay? And due to the sky-high inflation, you know, many of his fellow countrymen are not eating. What if that were to happen here? How would that look in view of cheeseburgers, rampant rantings, okay, about how great America is? Okay, I can't support the commander-in-chief in those decisions. No. I didn't vote for him. As a matter of fact, I couldn't vote between either one of them, him and or Hillary. Okay, it just seems to me that through all of this, okay, through all of this, scapegoating has become the American way. Well, it's always been the American way. Stereotyping and scapegoating is the only way that we can continuously keep throwing people under the bus, as it is a freaking sport. My God, are we really that bad? Are we really that bad? Are we really so bad that we can turn a deaf eye, okay, to all the other countries and so forth? And we claim ourselves to be the richest country in the world, and yet we can't even help our neighbors. That's selfish, man. Totally freaking selfish. All right? Sporadic looting, food riots, and protests driven by the hungry poor have surged in Venezuela, a country that's no stranger to unrest. But since Pinochet, everything's been gone downhill, like in that particular perspective. But the uprisings playing out recently have a different face than the mostly middle-class protesters who took to the streets for months last year in political demonstrations trying to oust President Nicolas Maduro. These protests are coming from people of the lower class who simply cannot get enough to eat. The David Schmildy, a senior fellow at the Washington Office of Latin America, who has spent decades researching Venezuela. They want relief, not necessarily to force Maduro from power. Okay? They need food. They need stuff. So, if any of you would like to start like a GoFundMe page for the citizens of Venezuela, let's see if we can get some Red Cross down there. Let's see if we can get some food down there. Okay? Let's see if we can help them raise more food. Okay, it might take some time, but if we can start with vegetables and raise it from there. 9 times out of 10, we can at least show that we care. But if we are going to sit back and allow this to happen in our own backyard, remember, USAID was a concert. I would challenge all of you hardcore rockers, hip hoppers, everybody get together and so forth and go to a place where you can raise millions of dollars and help these people. Just like this death eye that the UN gave to Ethiopia back in like the 80s when the children were dying in the damn street. Okay? Think about it. What happened? Okay? People started, musicians got together, they put, Feed the World. They put up a huge concert, USAID and so forth, all right? That was one of the bigger concerts. You have rock stars from around the world performing. If we can't raise money to do that, and we're so busy doing our bubble up and our e-cigarettes and our just whirling around in our own filth, don't you think it's time for us to clean up and help those who cannot help themselves? How can America be great if we don't support those who need the help? Okay, humanitarian help at that. And nobody likes humanitarianism in this world at this point, for the simple reason because now the United States has definitely shown its selfish ire, its selfish poise. Let me ask you something. If that were to happen to the United States, how many countries would actually come to the United States? How many? After we knew set up and debased most of them, after we knew stripped resources, after we basically allowed human trafficking in several countries with them, after we've illegally brought in heroin from countries we defeated, so we have this huge opiate crisis that we got going on right now. Think about it, people. Think about it. All the crap that we've done to all these other countries, and you mean to tell me we're responsible for them, but yet still we can't go and give them a hand. The same rip-off structure. If you look at the history of Haiti, yeah, the United States, we ripped it off. We rip off everybody. We go in, we set up our own fake democracies to say, okay, this is how it's run. We're going to put somebody in here for you that we train, so this way you can actually learn how to do democracy. Didn't work in Afghanistan, and this is the reason why Osama bin Laden is was targeted in the first damn place. Think about it, people. The surge in violent food protests began in poor neighborhoods across the country around Christmas when Maduro had promised the holiday hams were coming in government food baskets distributed to his supporters, not the people. But many didn't arrive, sparking protests with small groups burning garbage in the street and looting. Opposition pundits called it the pork revolution. Non-cipher. Trying to bring calm, Maduro ordered hundreds of supermarkets to slash prices to the previous month's level. A tall order in a country where prices have been doubling every few weeks. Sounds almost like Russia. You know, $200 for a loaf of bread, that sort of thing. Sounds like a manifest destiny of political sucker punches. That's what I'm talking about. If anything, you know, you have so many people. Okay, see, this is why I abstain from pork altogether, because this will cause a riot. It will definitely cause a riot. Okay. Speaking of riots and so forth, moving right along. Ooh, it gets even funnier. It gets even funnier. Let's bring it all home down to the nation's capital real quick. Okay. Now we know that corruption is king, not cash. Corruption is king. And we, the little people, we allow it. We voice our concerns only in our minds and at bars and so forth, because that's the only free place we think we can have our freedom of speech not so challenged. We try to do that in the house that we live in and so forth. It's called discontent, dysfunction. But when corruption is king in this damn country, okay? I'm watching our so-called El Presidente get away with massive corruption, massive obstruction of justice, massive human rights violations. And it all rolls downhill. And he said it himself, that if such things do happen, the President of the United States is responsible. So far, this jackass has been not so responsible for anything but his own glorified, ego. Okay, which is bigger than his tax returns. And my hands are that big and that small at the same time because I'm so good, I'm great, and I'm not obstructing anything. For the AP Press, not too long ago, about 10 hours ago, detectives testify about forces, robberies, and extortions. Told you, corruption is king, people. In Baltimore, 2 former Baltimore detectives testified Monday about a series of brazen robberies and other illegal activities by a rogue police unit as the second week of a high-profile racketeering trial got underway. Now, for a lot of us who lived through the Rampart scandal, okay, with Officer Ramirez, who was basically doing the exact same thing with drugs, women, and gangs and so forth, which led to the movie Training Day. All right. Yo, if y'all didn't see that, go back and look up the history of LA Rampart and look up Officer Ramirez. Find it right there. Indicted ex-detectives Jamel Raymond and Evidio Hendricks, who each face a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison, took to the stand in the U.S. District Court in Baltimore clad in jail jumpsuits. Wow, there's no badge on that, I don't think. All right. Basically, they are among 6 indicted city detectives who have pleaded guilty, and among 4 who are cooperating with the government during the trial. Ryan testified at about July 2016 robbery of a married couple who were handcuffed after leaving Home Depot and taken to a police substation nicknamed The Barn. Even though there was no evidence they had committed a crime, the indictment alleges that the gun trace task force supervisor Sergeant Wayne Jenkins posed as a federal official during their interrogation. After Ronald Hamilton disclosed he had about $40,000 in cash at the couple's house outside the city, gun trace task force detectives drove the handcuffed couple to the Carroll County property, called a relative to pick up their children, and then scoured the house looking for the cash. They robbed $20,000 before calling the other law enforcement agencies to the couple's home. Ryan testified saying, quote unquote, he took the cash and put it in the police vehicle that they were driving. He testified the detectives divvied up the money and went celebrating that night in 2 casinos. How does this not reek, of something that Hollywood could script? But then again, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you're wearing a badge and you're walking out here doing this to innocent people. You're targeting rich people to rob? Nice. Early in the day, Hendricks testified about a $100,000 robbery from a safe following a home invasion that prosecutors say involved Detective Marcus Taylor. He said Taylor held the camera during the subsequent staging of police body camera video to make it seem like a legitimate police business. Okay. So, how many of you police officers out there know how to edit film? Okay. The police cameras themselves have a USB port that downloads the same dang old thing like this. Okay. Same thing. This is a GoPro, people. Okay. This is the object right here that you see on. As you see on, say, like a police officer's uniform. Okay, can you see this? All right. From the back of it and so forth, there's a little port that goes directly into a computer. When it goes into a computer, people have the ability to edit the film as well as they want. And in many cases, a lot of film editors are getting paid a lot to do stuff for the police department before they represent the evidence from the cameras themselves. Yeah. So who are the real criminals? Alright, but these are just a few criminals. These are a few rotten apples. Most police officers are good. These are pigs. Straight pigs. Decorated pigs at that. And those decorated pigs are simply monsters to the living community. Echoing the opening testimony of another indicted detective last week, Hendricks described Squad Supervisor Jenkins as a highly energetic, dirty cop who was always on the lookout for monsters, a term they used for drug dealers, with a lot of loot to rob. Jenkins kept 2 duffel bags at the ready with gear including black ski mask, a grappling hook, a sledgehammer, and a machete. Oh my God, these guys were straight robbing these cats. Okay, drug dealers, they're robbing drug dealers. All the money can be traced. Guess you guys weren't that smart altogether. Wow. On the cross-examination, Hendricks agreed that Jenkins was perceived as an uncontrollable golden boy within the department because the Gun Trace Task Force did manage to seize illegal guns. BMO. They call it BMO careful out there. That's what they call it. According to Hendricks, Jenkins told his squad members that the then commissioner, Kevin Davis, knew that he was giving them overtime whenever an illegal gun was seized. The members are accused of defrauding the department for years with bogus overtime claims, including while they were on vacation with their families. Okay? Defrauding. I love that. Ain't that right, Cedric Jones? Todd Howard, an agent of the DEA in Baltimore, testified that during 2016 stakeout, Jenkins got out of the vehicle with tinted windows and knocked on Edwards' car's window at a parking lot in southern Maryland. They were both watching the same target. Edwards and Jenkins told him he was quote-unquote looking for a monster and had followed the suspect from Baltimore. Edwards says, I find it quite unusual, considering you're in Prince George's County and we're a long way from home. Needless to say, there are dozens of cases like this. Okay? So my question is this. Does the Fraternal Order of Police have any jurisdiction in reprimanding? Or are they basically going to, let these cops go? Or protect them? I don't think so. Because these cops were cops of color. And as long as they're cops of color, the FOP has little to say about their indictments. They walk with cold shoulders on that end. Okay? Now let's think, people. Let's compare apples to apples here. When you have people of color being shot up by police officers and the FOP steps in and guards them and moves them off, they'll send out a couple of tokens and so forth to go to prison. But when black cops do, cops of color, cops of other cultures and so forth wind up doing it under the same blue line and the same badge, the FOP turns away. Now, if they're killed in the line of duty, so, the FOP will sit up and say, oh, okay, cool, well, they did a good job. And that's all you get. You know what I'm saying? That's all you get. That's all you get. So therefore, there is not only a disparaging cost of racism and fascism in this country that is going to cost you your life, it costs the lives of others. It pits others for what we call the carrot on the string syndrome. Put a carrot on a string and dangle it in front of the horse to see if the horse pulls the cart. Pretty much, man. Same damn practice over and over and over. And we keep falling for it over and over and over. Why? Are we hungry here? Are we hungry here? Or are we just plain hungry in the belly? I don't understand. How can we have such a infused hunger for things that we don't need? How? I tell you what we do need. We need more in the educational system. We need mentors out there to teach our young better. We need mentors and guides who can basically say, you know, we can change this around. We can change this around. We can, but we have to start in our communities. We have to start with our youth. We can't sit up and encourage. We can try and influence, you know, our elders to look at things and guide us. That we can do. Tell you what, let's end this on a good note. These kids started a book club for the minority boys. It is the most popular club in school. Okay? Truesdale Educational Campus has a problem. The school can't keep its shelves stocked with the most important books, most popular books. Students are not so subtly reading in class when they should be paying attention to their teachers. And some boys are crowding the library before the morning bell even sounds. With the help of the administrator, 10 fifth graders started a book club at this school in the Brightwood neighborhood of Northwest Washington. And it is fast becoming the most popular club on campus, with staff members struggling to keep up with the students' voracious literary habits. It is said that if you read anywhere between 3 hours a day, you can improve your intelligence, you can improve your lot in wealth, you can improve assets that you will soon have. You self-help or just reading in general. It improves your vocabulary, it improves your understanding of the world through the eyes of others who have written it down. The books, quote unquote, that we read here, we can relate to. 11-year-old Devon Wesley has said the book club has finally allowed Devon to encounter black characters who look like him. The club dates back to December when a fifth grader complained one morning that his lackluster results on the citywide English exam did not reflect his true reading abilities. The principal, Marianne Stinson, placed a book she had lying around called Bad Boy, a memoir by Walter D. Myers, in his hand and told him to start reading. Michael Redmond, the assistant principal, saw this unfold and called in Devon, a popular and smart student on campus who often needs an extra push. He didn't want the reading assignment to feel like a punishment, so Redmond asked Devon, his classmates, who was given Bad Boy, and a third student to read the book together. The boys quickly became engrossed in the 2001 book about Myers' childhood in New York's Harlem. Okay? By the end of the day, Redmond said other students spotted Devon and his friends reading the book and asked the assistant principal if he had a copy for them. The library only had a few available, so Redmond ordered a handful more. He decided he would use this enthusiasm to help students organize an all-male book club, accepting the first 10 students who said they were interested in extra reading and discussions outside of school hours. Redmond, a George Washington University doctoral student whose dissertation is focused on the educational advancement of minority boys, said he remembers being aware as a kid that people didn't expect boys of colors to be readers. I am a reader, I read cold. Guess that proves something, doesn't it? He wanted to shatter that stereotype for these boys and for anyone they encounter in their lives. In a district, black male students are the lowest performing demographic on standardized tests. Statistics that mirror national education trends. President Barack Obama had attempted to address these disparities through the My Brother's Keeper initiative, which aims to improve outcomes for boys and young men of color. I'm so glad that Cheeseburger is not touching this whatsoever. Redmond and the boys meet once or twice a week at 8:15 a.m., half hour before the first bell rings, and use the book to launch into conversation about their own experiences with race, identity, and adolescence. Quote, there's a line in Bad Boy where he says, quote, I prefer not to be seen as black, and he didn't want his accomplishments to be viewed as quote-unquote Negro accomplishments. Redmond said at the beginning of the book club last week, he wrote that line not because he was ashamed of being black, but why. Okay? The students wearing shirts, wearing sweatshirts that said, quote, hashtag brilliant brown boy, shot their hands straight up. They sat at the desk, pushed together in the form of a large square, huddled over the creased books. Because you can be smart, not because you're black, because you are smart, period. I wish somebody had told me that when I was a kid. See how much of a positive difference it makes in a young boy's life like that? And a lot of young men, a lot of young boys who either wind up on the streets or in jail, one or the other, or in prison. Okay? And because, you know, they're following the brainwashed dictums of a few idiots who write salacious crap and call it music. Okay? Don't do the community at all a service. KRS said it best. Any MC can battle for glory, but write a dope rhyme to wake up your peoples and love a story. Acting like you never saw me, because when it comes to lyrics, I'm in a different category. Club just completed Bad Boy, and it was on the second book, Monster, a Myers novel about a teenager on trial for murder. Most of the boys said they've already finished the book. Okay? If these boys can basically, if there's a way to, like, you know, break a stereotype, you damn right I'm for it. If there's a way to break, you know, the fascist and racist grip that exudes itself from corporate America, you damn right I'm gonna break it. Okay? I break from the pack of idiocy. I break from the pack of, you know, spiritual togetherness. I break from the pack of discord between our communities of color. Because in the end, people, there is no segregated heaven. I don't give a damn what you think. You know this is true. If God accepts all of us, and we are walking in the image of God, how are we not acting God-like? All right, people. That's it for me. I got to get up out of here, but I am going to say good morning to everybody that is up and ready to rumble. This is a tumultuous tofu Tuesday. I've had miso soup last night, so that's why I'm saying this. Anyway, same tofu and hot garbage is what we chat with. And, you know, I'm going to start reading the titles of these shows, so this way you guys understand what I'm doing here. Anyway, I want to say good morning to... yes, grand risings to all of the good people, brethren and sisters around the world and so forth. I love what you guys do, and I love how you guys are basically coming together, and we have a platform to use it well to discuss local issues and see if we can bring solution to our problems, our diaspora, our reasons for our positivity, which should be outshined with sun itself. Okay? So, good morning to the lady of the day, goddess mother of Orisha, Lady O. Sean Griff, good morning. The funniest lady on Facebook today, Rodney Allen Rippey. That's right, there. Carl's Jr. kid is grown up and he is debonair. He's got his own channel. Check him out. Brenda Eakins Perkins, good morning. Just like that. Tawana Mason, my beautiful niece. Love to see you. And Lord Mir. Maria Villarreal, leader and queen of Compton. That's right. She runs the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Compton. This, I'm a member for life, okay? This, people, this, all right? That doesn't have, like, you know, Carlos Acevedo's greasy fat fingers all over everything. You know, it's El Chato Moro, okay? Ross Benzema all the way in South Africa. Good morning, my brethren. Kenny King, good morning. Match El Champion. Crawford, good morning. Skysky, we are all the way out in the Virgin Islands, my man. Peace and blessings, and thank you all for watching and so forth. Also, to Rebecca Armendariz, a Facebook friend here. She's basically going through some things. For newborn is basically hypoglycemic and has an enlarged heart, so I need everybody to, like, deliver prayers to this woman. She's on Facebook. Give her some love. Pray for her baby and so forth, and make sure that these are honest, good, sincere prayers that not only, you know, help sending healing prayers, but more importantly, prayers that will basically give her, like, a good foundation of friendship, which, needless to say, is what needs to happen in order for us to, like, you know, get beyond what we're doing, and you know, pretty much, like, you know, have help. Darrell James, good morning, my man. You got to check out his podcast, man. They're just crazy. They're just straight crazy. But he's dropping it every single day. Deanna Berry, where are you? Bear, I know you're there. Let's see, who else we got going on here? Let's see, Denise, good morning before I clock up out of here. Dulce, Melody Orozco, Zulu, Wamuyo, and Ricky Wood, good Lord, good morning, Ricky Wood all the way out there in Long Beach. Okay. Oh my goodness. All of my people in Kenya. Okay, I know the Kenyan slums got burnt up and so forth. So people, if you got some little change and so forth, send them some money. Get a GoFundMe page going and so forth. So this week we help these people just as well. Also, let's see. My man DJ KBK of Rockwell. Good morning. Shantae. Okay, you know Shantae, Roxanne, Shantae, the real Roxanne. That's what it is. Onyx, what's up? Good morning, fellas over there. I'm glad you're still alive. Jennifer Reed Martin, good morning. Amanda Lee, good morning. Kevin Walker, good morning. And the entire Zulu Nation around the world, good morning. Universal Zulu Nation, as well as everybody around the world. All right, that's the best way I can put it and so forth. Individually, if I were to do that, man, I would be here for like 2 hours, naming all the supporters. 496,000 of you, man. It's just too much. But I love you all. I love you all. All right, people, I got to get up out of here and so forth. I'm gonna leave you guys here with the Hope song. It's from Liberia. And if you're tuned into the radio station and so forth, you can hear the gist of it. This has been the Ktng Morning Show. King Bossa, good morning. Okay, everybody's starting to come in late. Who else? All right. Darren Gregory Malloy, good morning. My great nephew. How you doing? Doing that movie, doing that Hollywood thing. Okay, make sure you get a good agent. 20%, man, 20%. That's what I get. Okay, anyway, gotta get out of here. Love you all and so forth. If you want to chit chat with me and so forth, do so on Messenger. I'm always around. Enoch Godbody Starks, good morning. You coming in late, bro? You coming in late? All right, but nonetheless, I do want to wish everybody a beautiful, wonderful day. And always, no matter what circumstances you're going through, always, never let them take your smile from you. Shine brighter than the solar system itself. And always do positive things that will uplift the community, especially those who we are on this planet as a whole community. All right, love, peace, and chicken juice, YouTube. I'm out of here.